What's up, Internet? It is I again, that guy again, and today you'll notice two things. Firstly, we got Kingdom Hearts and Cheat Engine up, and secondly, Cheat Engine's blank, and that's actually related to the reason why I haven't been doing Kingdom Hearts hacking for so long, which is they updated it and broke everything. So I figure if I'm going to get back into it, and if I'm going to have to hack all this shit again, I may as well show you guys how I do it. So while the game's loading up, we're going to go into Cheat Engine here. I'm going to click this little gradient or like neon box here and tell it we want to open Kingdom Hearts, right? And after that, we're going to go under memory scan options where it says all, and we're going to click here and we'll see a bunch of things, right? And these are different processes that the game uses to run things like the game itself, or like Microsoft Core, Kernel 32, like stuff for the operating system, right? We're just hacking Kingdom Hearts, so we'll just select that one. Alright, so we're here, and we're going to go ahead and type in for our first scan, we're going to type in 0, right? Because we're going to look for experience points, and those start out at 0. So we're going to do our first scan. There we go. Got about 1 million results here. You would think I was a speedrunner with how I'm skipping those cutscenes. It doesn't really matter what we choose because we're hacking, so we're just going to choose the easiest things. Yoink. No one needs a shield. We can just hack our health to 1 billion. Or alternatively, we can hack the function that does damage and cause it to not do damage if it's targeting Sora. So many things, so many things. So the gist of this though, right? Right now we have 0 experience, so we're searching for 0. And as soon as we kill 1 shadow, so we get 1 experience, we're going to search for 1. And as soon as we get the next one, we're going to search for 2. And we're going to narrow down our results list here from 1.6 million to hopefully just a couple that we can sort through. Random lag spike. Okie doke. It's probably something to do with my controller acting up. Alright, so this is our time to shine, right? But we gotta get only 1 of them so we can make it easy for ourselves. We don't necessarily have to only get 1, but it will make life a lot easier. There we go, so we just got 1. So now we can search for 1. Now there's 698 values, right? So a lot better. Still too many for us to go through by hand though. So now we're going to kill 1 more, and we're going to get up to 2 experience. So now we're going to search for the number 2. 38 values. Okay, we're doing better. Maybe we'll get to 3. Alright, there's 3, right? So now we just go back over here. 3. Next scan. Now there's 11 values, right? Now, something to keep in mind here. There's 11 values. There's 10 party characters in the game, right? And, you know, one of them's technically Sora, one of them's technically Pooh that doesn't exist, but there's 10 of them, so there's 10 experience counters here, right? And there's also a counter for how many shadows you've killed, right? So one of these is that, the other 10 are party experience. So let's assume it's this one, right? Just because I think the first one is supposed to be how many shadows you killed. There we go. So we just leveled all the way up. Now we can one-shot shit. So we're going to skip the cutscene, and then when we get into this little area here, we're going to try to skip the next cutscene, because gosh, they take forever. I remember the PS2 version of this sucked. And then I'm going to take a quick moment to check on my cats, because they keep screaming. BRB. Alright folks, we're back at it. My cats are okay. And I just thought of something else I could show you guys while we have these things up, right? So, like we said, theoretically, right, there are 11 party characters, and each of them have an experience thing, and so this is where we get into the concept of arrays, right? And so an array, like let's say you have a memory object, right? Such as a party character, right? And they have so many fields, like the amount of health they have currently versus max health and max HP, or I'm sorry, max MP, current MP, all that shit, right? So these are structures. These are data structures, right? And like experience is always so many bytes away from the start of the structure and so on and so forth, but they're happening in a pattern, right? They're in order, right? So there's like Sora, Donald, Goofy, so on and so forth, but all their stuff is in order. And so if we were to take the memory address for the next one, right? Let's say copy selected address, go into calculator, make sure we're on programmer calculator, make sure we're in hex, Control V to paste, and then it's going to give us an error. I wonder why. That's why, because it's not taking the fucking address, it's taking this weird, hold up. So the easiest way I've found to get the actual address, because it always wants to copy something that we'll go into later, you just go in here, you go into like right click and then browse this memory region, right? And you're actually looking at the bytes here, which is pretty sick. But if you click where you want to go and press Control G, there's the address, right? So we can just paste it there now, and then really the only thing we have to change here is the last 3 to DAO. So we can just say minus, paste, DAO. Take a quick look, make sure that looks right. That looks right. So 74 hex should be the distance between each of these, right? Let's say we add the same thing here, should go to 88. Okay, so 74 hex is the size of this structure. Now I think this is the party stat structure, as I called it, which is like party statistics, right? So those would be, oh, you can't even see them yet. Here, let's keep playing the game. Let's keep playing the game. I can't skip that cutscene, oops. Here, I'll go ahead and skip ahead a little bit to where we're out of the dive to the heart, where we'll start doing more stuff. Actually, we're going to do something different. We're not going to skip ahead, because I could, and that'd be cool. But, nah, I got some other stuff I could try. So, Sora experience, right? We're going to go ahead and name our field there so we don't forget what it is. And then we're going to actually do a new scan, right? And from what I remember, we're going to look for the room ID, right? Which is the ID. Actually, you know what? World ID would be easier. So let's do this, right? Because I know the exact values of the world IDs, right? So dive to the heart is world 0, right? And you could kind of rationalize this if you hadn't known all this stuff too, in a way, right? Because the world IDs, like in computer science, IDs of arrays always start at 0, because the way that they basically calculate the memory address, you're just going 0 like bytes away from the start of the structure, or the start of the array, I guess I'd say, right? So it's the 0th element. But effectively, the 0th world is dive to the heart, right? So you'd rationalize, you would think that Destiny Island is world 1, right? And that's correct. So the next part's where things might get tricky, might throw people off, because you would think Traverse Town's world 2, but actually it's Disney Castle, right? So knowing this, knowing all these fun things, we're going to do our first scan for the number 0, and there's 1.7 billion of them, of course there are. We can just try to next scan a little bit and see if it changes or anything. No, that's okay. So now we actually will play a little bit ahead. I wonder what the code on that chest looks like, because it opens a crate instead of giving you an item. And I bet it looks different than the code for the other like chests in that regard. Alright, so now we're just going to destroy the barrel too. I am Sora, Destroyer of Woods. And now we can go through the dough. And I think this is going to take us to where we tell them our experience gain rate, which ironically doesn't really matter anymore because we're max level. So let's go ahead and talk to these folks. And we're just going to choose the quickest things because we really don't have to talk to these folks. We're already out leveled. We're at level, I think it's 100 in this game is the max, but I know like 1 point away from 1,000,000 is most experience you can get. And then after it lets us go through all this bullshit, we can look at some fun stuff with the party stat pages. If y'all hear my cats, I apologize in advance. They're just tweaking out today, and I could not tell you why. Alright, so here we are. Can't skip this cutscene, but we can walk into the light. The hardest part, oh fuck, my controller disconnected. I'm having USB-C issues because I'm broke as shit. Forgive me, internet, but oh well. You can see we're one-shotting all these shadows though, because we're like max level, and these guys suck. Okay, I can't say anything about them sucking when I can't hit any of them. But the hardest part of KH speedrunning is remembering when you can skip the scenes and when you can't. Alright, so we can check our party stat page now. So actually, go ahead and throw all these abilities on while we're at it. We're almost there. Oh wait, we don't have enough ability points. That sucks. So you may ask, how do we hack more ability points? So, we already found Sora's experience earlier, which is in his status, which his AP is also in his status, right? Level, his experience, like all that stuff, right? So if we were to right click here and browse this memory region, there we go. So now, we're treated to an abundance of things, right? And if you click, let's say we click here, right? So you'll notice, and it might be hard to see if you're on a phone or something, but when you click on an area here, at the bottom, it shows you different interpretations of that data, right? So like as a byte, this 3F is 63 in decimal, right? Versus as a word, which is, I guess in this case, like a short, like a 2-byte value, it's 16959, like 16,959. But as an integer, which is 4 bytes, what it is, it's 9, one less than a million is the easy way to say, right? So if we know 4 bytes is this value, we go 4 bytes ahead, 64, ba-da-da-da-da, not really sure what this stuff is. Actually, I think I remember this. I think this is the abilities. Hold up. You wouldn't know that if you hadn't been hacking Kingdom Hearts, so don't feel bad if you can't rationalize that. Yeah, so notice this, right? Notice this. When we change EXP0 on or off, it changes... Shit, I dropped something, fuck. It changes where my cursor's highlighted on the left side of the screen from CO to 4.0, right? So it subtracts, or it goes from 4.0 to CO whenever we add, or whenever we change the ability status, right? So it modifies this array. These are the abilities, is what we know. But aside from that, let's go a little bit above. Let's see if we see, because we're level 100, we know that, right? So if we find 100, which is right here, 64 hex is 100 decimal. 87 is, let me see if I find a value that's 87. Okay, my HP and max HP in this tracks because 5757, which is actually 8787, and then we've got 8 and 8, which are 8 and 8 in decimal, which is MP. So then we see this 33, which corresponds to 51 in decimal, which is our max AP. Now, current AP is actually calculated based on the abilities you have currently equipped. It essentially goes and looks at all the abilities. It says which ones are equipped, and for each ability that is equipped, what is the AP cost, and then subtracts it from max HP, or max AP to get current AP. Let me take a sip. I swear to God, if Arizona Iced Tea wants to sponsor me, they can have it. They can have it. But anyway, so now we know this, right? This is a 1 byte value for our level. So we're going to add the address to list, 1 byte. Let's actually just do this. Let's say level, right? Let me strategize this. Let me strategize for a minute. Okay, I know how we're going to do this. Okay, so that's going to be level. We're just going to call it level. You'll see why in a second. Now we need to know what this 57 corresponds to, right? So we're going to change it down by 1 and see what drops, right? So 87 was our max HP a minute ago. That must be current HP because we gained healing items. Let's change it to like 1 and see what happens. Okay, cool. This is current HP. Meaning this is max HP. Now it's likely, you see, that the next two follow the same pattern, right? Current MP and then max MP, but we're still going to check. We're still going to check. We're going to put this to 4. Unpause. Cool. So 4. This is current MP. Bada bing, bada boom. And then 8. That's max 8. Max MP. Goodness, this is a tongue twister of a game to hack. Bop, bop. 3351, that's the AP stat. Cool. So now we also see, let me go back to status because I think strength, yeah, strength is 50, defense is 45. So this 31 is 49 and 45 for 2D. So you might be like, yo, what the fuck, right? But I think there's items that we have equipped that give us strength or something. I think like Sora's weapon. His dream sword does something, but you just can't see because the way that weapon's coded. So what we'll try to do is we'll actually try to change one of these, right? So let's say, so 50, 45 were our known values, right? 50, 45. Okay, so it's strength and it's defense. Strength. Defense. And then we see a bunch of 64s, which are 100 in decimal. No idea why those are there. No clue. 16 of them. 16 64s. We could mess around, try to change them, see if that does anything, but I mean, yeah, likely not to, right? But anyway, so now we'll go around and we'll notice, right? You have like 3 accessory slots. And we see a 3 right here, right? So let's try changing it to a 4. You have 4 accessory slots, right? Let's try going to a 5. Oh wait, it didn't do what I wanted. Went to 6, but there's 6, right? So this is Sora's accessory slots. Accessory count, we'll call it. Now, if we go a little bit further here, we're going to see 7, and that's the amount of items you can have. And there's a 1 after the 7, actually, right? Which potion's item ID is 1. Let's change it to 2. Now it's a high potion that we have equipped, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to add this address to the list. This is item count. Now the cool thing here is, right, we can see we don't have anything equipped, right? We have straight up zeros from here to there, which is 8 bytes, right? So here, we're going to go in, add this address to the list, right? These are your accessories, right? Accessories, let's say accessory list actually, right? But this is not binary. This is an array of 8 bytes in length. Boop. And then now, so we also have this one, right, which we can see is all zeros for about 16 bytes of length, and that seems pretty reasonable if you ask me. Yeah, we may as well roll with that. I think I called it list. I'll have to go back and make sure in a sec. Array of byte 16. Okie doke. There we go. And now I'm kind of curious what this 52 is, right? Let's change it to 53 and see if it does anything. I think it's your weapon, I think. I don't know. Dream Shield. Okay, so this is the equipped weapon. Alright, cool. So the only other thing I could think of us going and grabbing, like we know experience is right here, and then we know it's a list of abilities, which seems to go on for like 52 bytes. I want to say that it goes for 48 bytes. I want to say. There's a way I could find out real quick, though. There's an easy way to find out. So 40 is a valid ability. We know this. So we're just going to go through and we're going to spam 40. Hold up, is there an easier way to do this? Goodness. Alright, well, you know what? There is an easier way to do this. I'm just being silly. Here, we just copy like 4 of them. Copy, paste. There we go. Paste. I'm not gonna go all the way. I just want to see what it do. So, let's hope it don't crash. Okay. Okay, so that's as far as it goes actually. That's how we know. Boom, just like that. So, we're gonna actually go through and I'm just gonna zero out all of the 40s that we don't need because we know that they're not the right abilities since they're all 40 and the actual 40 is at the start. Fuck. Okay, so it goes up to this. I'm not gonna erase this CO yet. So it goes from the first 40 to this. It goes from here to here. So it's 48 bytes. There we go. Alright, so 48 bytes starting from here. Add address to the list. Ability list. 48 bytes. Gotta love it. Alright, there we go. So let's actually take a look. Let's see what we're rolling with here, right? Let's change this to XP. So, I think for the most part, these are like organized. D70, this needs to go here. Actually, you know what I can do? I can just sort by the fucking address. We can't do this every time though, because later on it's gonna mess up all of our stuff that we have, but there we go. So now, Control A, select all, and then I think it's Control G to make a group, but let's see, because we want to make them a group. Oh yeah, add to new group. So, we'll say Sora stat page. Actually, hold up, let me think on this for a minute. Let me think on this, because this has his abilities. This is actually what I used to call a party stat page, because a stat page is like your in-play, like in-game health and shit. This is like your in your stat page stuff, because like your experience, like so like Leon has a stat page, right? He doesn't have experience, but he has strength, he has defense, he has magic, so on and so forth, right? So it's like a sub piece, I guess you'd say. Not really a subclass, but let's see. Yes, we do want an address version. And the reason that we want an address version is because, let me see, so we're going to start off, we're actually not going to start off at level, we're going to start off 4 bytes before level. And the reason for that, there is a, hold up, we got to go back to level. There it is. So this is your level right here, right? 64, which is 100 in decimal. Fuck. Yeah. So right before that, there's this. And I don't know what this 5 means. No clue. But it's a 4-byte value, and it's a 5. We could try to change it. But it's okay. What we're going to do actually is we're going to go in the group for level. We're just going to take it and we're going to put it there. Cool. Actually, oops, forgot to subtract 4. There we go. Alright, so now the cool thing is, right, so this is +4 from that group. And it's going to be kind of a bitch to convert all these, but we're going to do it. And actually, I'll save you guys the hassle. I'll actually just stop recording and come back once I've got all these converted to be, instead of this, it's going to be like +4. Alright guys, we've gotten all of our things set up to where it's plus, and then the amount that it needs to be to where it's, you know, so like let's say this, if I were to copy this and then paste it, and then just change the address to where Donald's stat page starts, all of these are Donald's stat page now, right? And another thing I like to do, right click, group config, and then, so let me see which one it was. Hide children when deactivated, that's the one. So now, when you activate it, it doesn't do anything, it just makes the things visible for you, which is pretty cool. And then the last thing we want to do, right click here, and say recalculate new addresses, right? Change by offset, almost always going to be 0. Change. And what that does, now this address is like this, meaning, so Kingdom Hearts Final Mix.exe plus this hexadecimal amount, right? This is Kingdom Hearts Final Mix exe, and so whenever you boot up the game, right, Windows is going to automatically determine like where to place each process in memory. So like the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix exe is going to be at a certain place in memory, the Windows libraries are going to be at a certain place in memory, right? That sort of thing. But all of the values are always going to be the same offset from the start of memory as the main process, right? The Kingdom Hearts, in this case, final mix.exe process. So we want to make sure that we're looking for everything at an offset from that versus at just an arbitrary amount. And that's how you make sure that when you save your game and when you quit your game, it's still going to allow you to use all the same hacks, basically. You see something too. So yeah, I don't think these, yeah, these weren't changed though. These are still the same, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so now let's fuck around and find out a bit. Let's take this 5. Let's change this shit to like a 3. What do it do? Oh, also now we have enough AP to get all those abilities. Oh, actually we forgot to change it. Let's change our stats, guys. That's like the best part of this. I'm gonna set all these to like 128 for the most part. Just because there's items that'll give you like +1 and stuff, and if I do too high, like 256 or something, then there's a chance it'll kind of fuck me up later. Accessory count, we don't want to do too high. I know the length of the whole thing is like 8 bytes. Item count, let's do 16, because if I did higher than that, then it's going to start reading like other shit. Like, so we're going to put 9 for our accessory count now, right? And the game's probably going to crash. Let's check equipment out. And at the bottom, Stormy Stone, right? Which is actually the representation of 16, our item count. And if I remove it, then item count is now 0. So now, Sora can't have any fucking items. Yeah, cool shit, cool shit. So, that's what a buffer overflow exploit is, and how that works. And now we have a Stormy Stone in our inventory somewhere. No, we actually don't. I wonder where that Stormy Stone went to. Damn. Oh well. Well, we can change our weapon to whatever weapon we want to. Let's see. Equipped weapon, EXP. We can actually also fuck around and set level to 255 like a menace. And I think, I want to say it's 100 is Ultima weapon, I think. Yeah. There we go. So now, we have Ultima weapon in Dive to the Heart. And what I might do, I might actually split these videos up, right? I might actually do, so like, part 1, Dive to the Heart, like, getting the Ultima weapon. And then I might do, like, part 2 after Dive to the Heart, where, like, I show you guys how to actually go and, like, hack the rooms and, like, room loading and shit. That'll be a little more in-depth. This is kind of in-depth, I guess I should say. But, as you know how that goes. Gotta love these HD textures. Alright, so now we get to fight big old boy. Big old boy. Let's do it. Let's get him. Absolutely annihilating them. Destroyed. Rest in piss. Gotta love that Destiny Island battle music glitch. And I want to record which save file I save on because I don't want to forget. I still have all my old saves. I just don't have any way of unfucking the broken ones because all the hacks. Alright, so we're gonna save. We're gonna save. Yeah, see I get Seaside Shack 1 second. Hacker bus storage. All kinds of crazy shit. But we're gonna save on save file 10. And I'll see, maybe I can get that part 2 uploaded later today if I'm having enough fun with it. But anyway guys, I appreciate y'all, and y'all see some more Kingdom Hearts hacking soon, okay? Thanks and see ya.